Congratulations, open the show here tonight and a very good performance. Just sum it up for us.
Yeah, it was. I thought I ground it out a little bit the first set, but I thought I played really well the second set. I think Mike played pretty well as well, but I think the 1-5-2 after he just broke me the first leg to start after he'd not got off was a big shot, and I think I went on from there. Like I say, I felt a bit nervy. I won't lie the first set, but I think I settled into the game well, and obviously a 2-0 victory suggests that that's what happened.
That first set, when you race into a 2-0 lead, get pinned back, that fifth leg of that first set, how crucial is that?
Yeah, it is, but that's the beauty of the double start. You know, it's all right having the off. If you don't get away the first three darts, then essentially it's their off. So it's cutthroat, it's brutal, it's a leveller, and obviously with a short format first game, you just happen to get through, whether it be looking $1 million or looking absolutely rotten.
Now, as you settle into the tournament, obviously the format goes up slightly, that cutthroatness is now gone away. Can you settle in and enjoy it more now?
Yeah, I suppose so, yeah. And for me personally as well, 2 years ago, I think it was 3 or 4 days before I lost my mum, so I'll be honest, I turned up for the easy £6,000. My head wasn't in it, so I'm defending nothing this year, so this is all bonuses onto my rankings.
On your rankings, you're in a really good position to gate crash and smash into that top 10 going into next year. Do you feel that you've now settled as part of one of the elite in that bracket?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think the difference is between me and the elite. I've got one of them shocking games. Sort of a 1 in 10 where it's a shocker. 1 in 10 actually. I'm being a bit harsh on myself there. Maybe 1 in 15, but like a low 80s average, and you just don't get going. I think I've got one of them in where I think the elite have got that aspect of their game is maybe a late 80s, but I'm still learning, and I'm sure. Even the top boys, world number 1, 2, 3, they're all still learning. It's the standards getting better and better every year, so you need to learn on the job, so to speak.
We've seen titles scattered around. Obviously, Nathan picking up his first, Chris earlier on in the year, you last year. Right now, is it wide open that everyone goes into these tournaments believing they can win, where beforehand it was just Michael and whatever hoovering up? Yeah,
I think it is, and I think even more so at this tournament with it being double start. It's one of those you can be absolutely on top form, but if you don't get away, it's irrelevant. If you can't hit trebles, then you can't score. So it's one of those. I think that's why James Wade, obviously, I know he didn't do great last night, but he's notoriously always done really well in this tournament because he's one of the biggest finishers in the game. So I think it's one of those. It's a full week. If you can have the week of your life and get away, certainly in your first visit, and I think you've got every chance.
Joe, congratulations.
Nice, cheers up.
Joe, how would you assess where your game is at the minute? Do you feel the run to the semis and the match play was a kind of turning point for you this season?
Yeah, I think it was a turning point, but obviously with the way the calendar is, you've got the best part of a month off, so normally on the back of a TV major semi-final, especially at the match play, you want to just play as much darts as you can, so with having a month off straight after that, it was a little bit difficult, and you don't know, you're trying to set sort of positions in the calendar where you're going to start practicing, have a couple of weeks off here and there, and it's difficult. And I think I was actually speaking to Nathan the other week, and I think that's what's happened to him a little bit. I know he was in the World Series, but it's not ranked, and it's his first time in Australia and New Zealand. I think that's maybe where his game suffered a bit there, but yeah, like I say, I'm just happy to get the win tonight.
You mentioned about not having much to defend. How good are you feeling about the back end of the year?
Yeah. I think I'm obviously defending a bit of a chunk at the Europeans, but apart from that, I think I'm in pretty good shape. So, I've not made the top 10 yet, and that's I've not really looked at rankings and sort of set myself goals in, so to speak, in rankings. I'm a big believer that if you do the work on TV, then rankings will take care of themselves. But I'd be lying if I didn't say I had one eye on the top 10.
Cheers, Joe.
Cheers, Joe.
Joe, we talked about Blackpool there. Was it important for you to capitalise off that big TV performance in this back end of the year?
Yeah, it is, but I think you can maybe afford yourself a little bit of leniency, especially with this one. Obviously, with it being double start, and it's like I say, it's cutthroat. It's everyone's in danger. I think it must be brilliant for a neutral fan to watch, because literally everybody's in danger. If you don't get away, you can't score. So. It must be a great spectacle for the fans.
You talk about that month between the match play, over a month between the match play and the World Grand Prix. Have you been able to fill that with practice? Because there's not been a huge amount of...
No, I'd be lying if I did. I've enjoyed some time off. had a few days in Spain with the family, and it's just obviously after last year with the Premier League and the World Series and stuff like that, I didn't get a chance to spend much time at home or with my family, so I certainly made the most of it this August.
Are you more thankful for it after that?
Yeah, you are, but you want the money. You know, we all play for the money. It's all right saying, "Oh, it's a great trophy. Trophy's great and everything," but the cheque and the bank balance is what we all play for. You'd be lying if you said it didn't. So, yeah, I'm happy where my game is, and hopefully I can go on and win this week.
Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, mate.
Joe, well done. It was a 92 average. It was a rematch of the World Match Play first round. When you see that you draw the same opponent, does that have an effect on how you prepare, knowing that you've already beat Mike in the World Match Play and then you've got him in this tournament as well?
Well, luckily I've done it before. Last year I drew Damon Hector the first round of the match play and the first round here, so it wasn't new to me. And Mike actually said to me when I just beat him there, he went, "Hopefully I don't get you at the Worlds," because I actually drew Damon at the Worlds as well in the third round. So it's just one of those. It's a freak thing. And I think I played Mike the week before in the Pro Tours, before the match play, and I always thought that was a bigger game for him than it was me. You know, if he'd have beat me 6-0, I'd have still had the same attitude going into the match play, where I beat him there. I think it maybe played in his mind a little bit, and maybe the match play played in his mind tonight.
Yeah. And you mentioned there the World Championship. You've also got the Europeans Player Championship final, the Grand Slam as well. There's a lot of tournaments in this back end of the year. How would you assess your game going into the back end, and how hard is it to manage that busy schedule?
Yeah, I think my game's in a good place. I think towards probably from sort of June onwards, even my rubbish game's been pretty all right, sort of high 80s, low 90s, and that's a rubbish game, and you can scrape results with that. So I think my game's in a good place. And yeah, well, I've still got to get in the Grand Slam, so I'm not worried about that yet. But that's the next aim after this weekend.
And you mentioned that the difference between you and the elite is that you've still got the odd game, which is way below par.
Yeah.
Moving forward, how do you try to get rid of that so you can take the next step?
I don't know. I think that's one of those things that no one knows really what to do. I think on my day I'm well up with the elite, you know, in my eyes, if not better than the elite. But it's those games where you're a little bit vulnerable, where sort of the big boys seem to find a result from somewhere. Where, like I say, I'm still learning, and I'm still enjoying the game, and yeah, my game's in a good place, and hopefully it shows the rest of the year.